Hello everyone. So today I'll be explaining the concepts related to DML, that is data definition language. When you say DML, that is DML, data manipulation language. So this is what we are actually talking about. So what do you mean by this DML? DML is nothing but a category of commands. We have this application that is MySQL. This MySQL has many commands. Earlier, we have covered DDL commands, that is data definition language. Now we are going to look at DML, that is data manipulation language. So DML is nothing but a command. So any command with which we can modify the database. If we have this particular database, this is the database. These are our tables. If we want to modify this particular database using some commands, we want to modify this database using any commands, those commands are nothing but DML commands. With these commands alone, we can modify this database. Whatever the change that is going on inside a database, whatever may be the changes, either it is the modification of tables, rows, whatever it is, that comes under this DML, that is data manipulation language. And here there is one more important point. The important point is this DML command, it is not auto committed. These DML commands are not auto committed. When I say it is not auto committed, it means it can't permanently save all the changes into this database. For example, we have made some change, that is change 1. We have done some change 1 in this database. This change can't be saved permanently inside this database. This is what we call as auto committed. This option of auto committed is not available in this DML, that is data manipulation language. So all the changes can be rolled back. When we say this is not auto committed, in the sense all the changes are rollback. So all the changes can be rolled back. So this is what DML is about. Now, inside DML, we have a categories of DML. Like we have clauses, that is insert, and the other clause is update, and the third clause is delete. So we have insert, update, and delete. These are the three keywords that are exist in this DML command. Now I'm going to explain each of those keywords with the help of syntaxes and with the help of real world scenarios. Okay. So now let me move this thing. Okay. So I think I'm just erasing all the things so that no need of erasing, I think. Okay. So now here I'm just explaining the first command, that is insert. So I'm going to explain this first command, that is insert. For insert, we have the syntax, that is insert into. Here we have this table name, and we can open the braces. Here you can pass all the columns, that is column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. After that, you can close the bracket and you have to mention the values here. This is the values keyword, and you can open the braces. You can mention the value 1, value 2, value 3, and so on. Now you can close the bracket and you can put the semicolon to end the query here. Now, what does this insert do? Insert, the name itself explains that it is going to insert some rows. Insert is nothing but it inserts some rows into the database. This is our database, and if we want to, here inside this database we have tables. If we want to insert some rows inside a table of a database, we can use this command or keyword called insert. So this insert into is it's a keyword, and here we have to mention the table name, and these are the columns that we have to pass, and these are the corresponding values that we have to enter. Now, okay, I'm going to show you with the real world example. Okay, okay. So now, uh, let me first have a look at what are the databases that I have. So I'm just pressing this show databases, and I'm just pressing Control Enter so that I'll be able to see what are the databases that I have. So this is the database that I'm going to use it now. That is customer database. I want to use it. So I'm just typing use customer database semicolon. Now I have used this database. Now I want to look at what are the tables that are exist in this database. So I'm just using this show tables keyword, which I have already explained in my earlier videos. I'm pressing Control Enter. Now I have got the customers table, that is the only single table that is exist in my database, that is customer database. So I want to know what is the structure of this table and what are the contents of this table. So what I can do is I can simply do this select star from customers. Now if I press Control Enter, I have got this serial number 1, Robin, Vijay, India. These are all the contents, and these are the columns: serial number, first name, last name, and country. Okay, so we have only 2 rows of data. But what if we want to insert 3 more rows inside this table? Then what we can do? We can use this insert command. Insert. So I'm going to use this insert keyword, and with the help of this insert keyword we can easily enter the data. So I'm just using insert into. I want to pass my table name. What is my table name here? This is my table name, that is customers. Insert into customers, and now I can pass. I can open this square curly, I mean open braces, and I have to pass the uh, column name. What is my column name? The first column is nothing but serial number. So I want to pass this serial number. and then I have to pass this first name, and then I have to pass this last name, and then I have to pass the another last column, that is country. Now all the columns that I have already passed, now I want to pass the values. So I'm just pressing this values keyword and opening the values braces. Now here I want to mention, here already we have serial number 1, serial number 2. Now I want to add 3 more serial numbers. So my values would start with values 3, comma, and the name is, for serial number 3, I want the name to be uh, Ben. Ben. And the last name would be Stokes. The country would be England. Okay. Now, why am I passing all the things inside a double quotes? Because here Ben is a textual character. In the sense, it's a textual type of data. So, if it is a string, we have to pass it inside a single quote or a double quote. So, I'm using double quote here. So, now finally, I have passed 1, 2, 3, 4. So, here 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I have passed 4 elements. Now, I'm just closing the bracket here. Now, I'll keep semicolon. Now, if I press Control Enter, the query has been executed now. Now, if I just observe this same code of query, that is select star from customers, instead of typing it again, I'm just placing my cursor and just pressing Control Enter. Now you will be able to see third row has been added, that is Ben Stokes, he is from England. Okay, this I have only added only one single row, but what if we want to add all the 3 rows or more than one row simultaneously? Then how to do that? Adding more than one row simultaneously. How to do that? So it's very much simple. We have to use insert into command, and then we have to pass the table name, that is customers. Now, instead of uh, see, I'm here pressing serial number and first name, last name, country. I'm passing all the columns. Now I want to pass the values of it. Values are nothing but for Stuart, Broad. Here I'm just keeping as capital since it's the first name, and he is also from England. I'm closing this bracket. Now I have to keep a comma here, and I have to open another open bracket, and I have to pass serial number 5, Virat, last name would be Kohli, and he is from India. Okay. Now I also want to add another row, that is serial number 6, Ricky Ponting. He's from Australia. Now I have added enough number of rows that I have to. Now I'm just placing this semicolon to end my query. Now if I select all these things and press this button, or if I place my cursor anywhere of this in this query, and if I press Control Enter, my query has got executed. See here, my query has executed. Now I want to see what is the change that it has made. So I'm just checking select star from customers. Basically, it shows all the contents of this table customers. So I'm pressing Control Enter. Now it has given me all the other Other three rows have been added. That is Stuart Broad, England, Virat Kohli from India, Ricky Ponting is from Australia. Okay. Now we have added the data, that is insert. Okay, we have tried only single method. What is that single method? Whenever we are trying to insert the data, every time we were mentioning column names here. But there is also another method where we need not mention any column names. For example, this is another method of inserting data. What is that method? First use insert into keyword and give the table name, that is customers. Now, instead of passing all the column names, you can directly pass values and you can open the braces. Now, you should maintain the order. What is the order? Order in the sense what? Order in the sense, here what are the columns that are present in the table? We should follow this order. Like we should not mention like first name, Kiran, and the last name, Pollard, and the serial number is 6. No, we should not mention, because here, if we mention Kiran in the first place, it automatically goes into the serial number. But serial number will only accept integers, because this particular column is generated for integers only. So it should not accept this textual column, that is string type of data. So it will definitely throw an error. See, if I just closing the bracket and if I just press Control Enter, it will surely throw me an error. See here, it is saying column does not match value counted row 1. So it is saying basically Kiran can't be inserted into the column 1. So instead of this, what we have to do is we have to give the values as of our data. So I'm just mentioning this customer ID in the first position, that is serial number in the first position, and first name and the last name. And we also have to mention the country. He is from West Indies. Now our query is complete. Now if I press Control Enter, duplicate entry for 6. Oh, okay. So 6 we have already given here 6, so we should not enter 6. So we can pass 7 here. Now if we press Control Enter, it will surely get executed. Now if we want to check, just go here and press this select star from customers. Now see here, the seventh row, that is what we have inserted here, the final one, 7, serial number, Kiran, Pollard, West Indies. That is what it has got added. So these are the two ways of inserting data into our table. Okay. So uh, now done with insert. Now I'll be explaining about update, which is very much important. Okay. So I'll be explaining about this another keyword called update. What is that keyword? Keyword is nothing but update. So what do you mean by this update here? Update is nothing but it updates it updates rows with new data. In the sense, I mean to say, we have this table like this, and we have the columns like this. So if we have this column as serial number, first name, last name. Okay. Now, if we already have the data that is like serial number 1, Ken, Black. This is my data that is present in this table. But I want to update this particular name with some other name. How can I do it? Using this keyword that is update. So first of all, I'll show you the syntax of it. Then I'll be explaining in the MySQL workbench. So the syntax of this update is nothing but first we have to mention this update keyword. Now we have to pass the table name here. And then we have to use this set keyword. Now we have to mention that particular column. Imagine we want to do some changes in the second column. So I am using column 2, or we have to give the column name itself. That particular column is equal to, we have to give the new value. So instead of Ken, I want to mention it as Rishabh. I want to mention it as Rishabh. Okay. Now, also I want to change the last name. So how to do that? So you have to mention that particular column. That is the column 3. You have to give the column 3 name here. Column 3 equal to, what is the name? The last name would be Pant. Rishabh Pant. I want to replace Ken Black with Rishabh Pant. So I'm using this thing. Now, we have to, this is very much important. Here you have to mention the where condition. Otherwise, this particular change will be applied for all the data wherever the, for all the third column and the second column. So we have to mention the where condition as well. So this is our syntax for update. So I'll be showing the same in Workbench, then you'll be getting crystal clear clarity. Okay. So this is about update. So how to update this command? For example, here we have Kiran and Pollard. Instead of Kiran Pollard, I want to update with Mitchell Stark. So how to do that? And Mitchell Stark is from Australia. So I want to update these 3 columns. That is the first name, last name, and the country. So how to do that? So you just have to use update and you have to pass the table name, that is customers. And then in the next line, set, you have to use that particular column, that is first column, where we have to make some changes. That is first underscore name equal to, what is the updated change that you want to make? Instead of Kiran, you want to mention Mitchell. Mitchell. And instead of, sorry, in the last name, you want to mention, instead of Pollard, you want to mention Stark. Okay. And uh, in the country, you want to mention Australia. Okay. But all these changes should only happen at where? All these changes should only happen for Kiran Pollard only. So what is the serial number for Kiran Pollard? That is 7. 7 is the serial number for the Kiran Pollard. So I'm passing a condition, that is all these changes should only happen for the serial number equal to 7. This is what my query is. If I press enter, if I press control enter, what happens? The query has got executed. Now, if you just fetch the data from the customers, it would definitely get changed. See here, where is it? Yeah, here. Instead of Kiran and Pollard and West Indies, we have the updated data as Mitchell, Stark, and Australia. So this is how we use update. But here there is a uh, like there is a great important concern here. The concern is, first of all, I would like to describe my table. What is my table name? That is customers. See here. Here I have, while generating or while creating the table itself, here I have defined this particular column, that is serial number, as primary key. When you look at the other columns, these columns doesn't have any kind of key constraints. That is, it doesn't have any primary key or foreign key or whatever it is. It doesn't have any key elements. Only this particular key, this particular column, it has key. Just remember, when you are updating anything in the where condition, you should only pass that particular column for which you should definitely have any key constraints, either primary key or foreign key or whatever it may be. It should definitely have any key constraint. Imagine, imagine, uh, instead of serial number equal to 7, if I want to pass first name equal to Ben. Okay. So if the first name is Ben, then I want to apply these changes. Okay. Will this work? Let's try. If I am pressing Control Enter, it would definitely throw me an error. What is the error? It is saying you are using safe update mode and you try to update a table without a where clause that uses a key column. So here basically it is saying I'm trying to pass the condition in a where clause for which it doesn't have any key constraints. In the sense, when you call this, see here, when you call this, here it is saying I'm trying to pass this particular column in the where condition while updating it. It doesn't have any key constraints like first name. Where is it located? Here, first name. It doesn't have any key constraint here. Unlike serial number, which is having a primary key constraint, first name doesn't have any key constraint here. So if I pass the same column which doesn't have any key constraint while updating the data into my table, it won't work. We should only pass a particular column which definitely has a key constraint. So that's the reason why I have used this serial number. Uh, I can use 2, serial number 2. Now, if I press Control Enter, it will definitely work. Now you can see Control Enter. See, for the serial number 2 also, the data has changed. Mitchell, Stark, and he's from Australia. And you see, this is what it has repeated. Earlier, we have made the changes for the serial number equal to 7. Now we have made the changes for the serial number equal to 2. That is the most important thing uh, when it comes to the update one. But there is also another way. There is also another way to turn off this safe update mode. What do you mean by this safe update? So when you go to this edit option, here you will be finding preferences. Just tap on this. And now when you go to this uh, SQL editor and scroll down a little bit, here you will be having safe updates. In the sense, this particular check mark is actually restricting us to only apply update on the key constraints. If we uncheck this thing, see, I'm unchecking this, and if I press OK, and if I try to reconnect to the database again, it will ask me like this. If we press OK, then it will surely reconnect again. Now, if you describe customers, sorry, first we have to use customer database. Now we have to ask describe customers. See here, now first name doesn't have any primary key, but I'm going to insert, I'll tell you. See here, for example, instead of, see, in our data, we have at second serial number 2, we have Mitchell Stark, Australia, and serial number 7 also we have Mitchell Stark, Australia. I don't like this. I want to change serial number 7 with some other data. So what am I trying to do? I want to use this update, and what is the table name here? Customers. And update customers set first name equal to, with what name we should change this particular Mitchell. We have to change this particular Mitchell with any other name like Michael, and last name equal to Clark, and country is equal to Australia. He is also from Australia. So I want to replace Mitchell Stark from Australia, which is existing at serial number 7, with this particular new thing. Okay. For this, I have to pass the condition, that is where usually earlier, before doing that, unchecking the box of safe updates, what we were doing before we were using this serial number equal to 2, because serial number is having a key constraints. Now I don't want to use the serial number. I can simply do it like uh, like wherever uh, wherever Mitchell is there. For example, I can say where first name is equal to Mitchell. If I press this control enter, automatically this query will get executed. See here, now this time it doesn't throw me an error because I have turned off here in the edit preferences, in the SQL query editor. When you look at here, I have turned off the safe updates. So when you turn off the safe updates, it won't expect you to apply the where condition on a key constraint column. So you can apply the where condition on whatever the column that you want. So I have applied the where condition on a random column, whatever it may be. So now if you can just check, control enter, see here, wherever Mitchell was present earlier, there the change has been applied. Earlier, Mitchell Stark was there for serial number 2. So that's why for the Mitchell, Michael, Clark, it has changed. And also at row number 7, Michael Clark, it has changed. So that is what it is all about, update. Also, there is another way of turning off the uh, safe, like safe updates. So there is another way. I'll, I want to show you the another way also. For example, you can temporarily turning off, like for example, I hope it is visible now. I'm just trying to decrease the size of this panes so that my query space would get maximized. So how to temporarily turn off or turn on the safe updates? So I'm going to show you now. So how to do that? For that, we can also, instead of going over this edit and do some changes by pressing these options, Instead, you can simply run this query, that is set SQL underscore safe underscore updates equal to 1. Why am I using SQL safe updates equal to 1? Because earlier here in this option, I have gone here preferences, and in the SQL editor, when you just scroll down, I have turned off. I already turned off. Now I want to on this SQL safe updates. So for on it is 1 and for off it is 0. So I'm using this SQL safe updates equal to 1 and I'm pressing this semicolon. If I press Control Enter, now it has loaded. Now the change will be applied. So now I'm just copying this entire thing. Okay. Now instead of if I try to do the same thing, for example, I want to make some change here. Instead of Michael, I want to do uh, Henry, Henry Clark. Okay. But I want to apply for wherever the Michael is available, wherever I I mean wherever this Michael is available, I want to apply this change here. Michael. Okay. Now if I press enter, it won't work. Let's see. Control enter. It has not worked because I'll show you the key. See here, it has failed. Why? Because we have turned safe SQL safe updates equal to 1. In the sense we have turned on. If we turn on this SQL safe updates equal to 1, we can't apply filter condition on random columns. If it is equal to 0, then only we can execute this particular query. If it is 1, then instead of first name, we have to pass serial number equal to any number, 2 or 3 or 4 or 7, whatever it may be, because only serial number has the primary key constraint. Other than serial number, there is no other column which is having primary key constraint. So when we turn on SQL safe updates equal to 1, then we have to use any primary key constraint oriented columns in where condition. If SQL safe updates is turned off and if we press Control Enter, the query has been executed. Now we can use any column, whatever column we want, we can use like first name, last name, whatever the column that we have to use, we can use. It's up to you. Got it? For example, um, Virat, Control Enter. Now see. Now there won't be Virat Kohli because I have made the change here. See here, there is no Virat Kohli. See, there is no Virat Kohli. Instead of Virat Kohli, we have Henry Clark because I have said, first of all, I turned off the SQL safe updates equal to 0, and then I have passed first name equal to wherever the first name equal to Virat, there go and update this particular information. Instead of Virat Kohli, he is from India. Instead of Virat Kohli from India, update Henry Clark from Australia. That is what I have done. So this is the most important thing regarding SQL safe updates. So either you can directly go here and here you can uncheck the box there itself. Otherwise, you can directly use this particular uh, simple single line of code, that is set SQL underscore safe updates equal to 0 or 1 to make it turn on or off, whatever it is. So this is all about update. Now I want to discuss about some other thing. Okay. So now this is the time to discuss about delete. Earlier, I have explained about drop. Also, I have explained about drop table. But why do we use drop and drop table? I have explained very clearly in my previous videos. Drop is used to drop columns, and drop table is used to drop the table. But why do we use delete here? Delete is used to delete rows in a table. If we want to delete the rows from a table, we have to use this delete. And the syntax for it is nothing but delete. This is the keyword. We have to use the from keyword also, and we have to mention the table name here, table underscore name. Now we have to pass where condition, because if we don't pass any where condition, imagine we are only using this particular thing, then entire table will get deleted. I mean, entire rows will get deleted in a single table. Instead, you only want, for example, we have this particular, okay, for example, we have this table here. We don't want to delete the entire data of this particular table. Instead, we only want to delete a particular thing. For example, I only want to delete last two rows, like these two. Last two rows only I have to delete. I want to keep these first two rows as it is, and I only want to delete the last two rows. Then what I can do? I have to use delete keyword from table name, and I have to use the uh, where condition. Here I have to use any where condition, and finally keep the semicolon here. I'm just erasing this. Okay. So this is the syntax here. This is the syntax. Now we will directly jump into this SQL workbench to look how are we going to do it in the SQL workbench. So delete. So I'm saying delete. I want to delete this Ricky and Michael. Okay. I just want to delete Ricky and Michael. So what am I going to do is delete from, I want to pass the customers table because that is my table, and I want to delete all the rows where the condition is serial number is equal to 6 and serial number is equal to 7. I'm passing this. If I press Control Enter, the query has been executed. And now if you want me to look at this thing, see, there are only, see here, it has been deleted. Now I don't want to, uh, I don't want, for example, I don't want this row 7 and row 6. Then what we can do is delete from customers where first name equal to Ricky, and if I press Control Enter, if I want to check, see here, row number 6 has been deleted because I have told I don't want any rows from the first name equal to Ricky. So wherever the first name is present as Ricky, I want to delete all the rows of that column. So simultaneously, all the rows of all the columns will get deleted. So the entire sixth row has been deleted. Now if I want to add delete from customers where first name equal to Michael and first name equal to Henry. I want to delete both the rows. Now if I press Control Enter, see what happens. Okay, it has not got deleted because the thing is it's a clash. It's a clash because see here, the query has been executed, but it is saying zero rows affected. When it says zero rows affected, the query is correct. It has checked actually. It is checking for the first name equal to Michael and first name equal to Henry. Instead of and what we can do is we can pass or. Now if we press Control Enter, see three rows are affected. Okay. Now if you press Control Enter here to check, see all those uh, rows starting with the first name as Michael and starting with the first name or Henry all have been deleted. So this is the use of this beautiful keyword, that is delete. We can only delete whatever the rows that we want to delete. Only those rows can be deleted. Rest of the rows we can keep as it is. So that's all for this. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.